Hello and welcome to this week's D&V video with me, Tom, and Dom, who's with me today in the centre, which is a great relief to be in the centre rather than having to do it over the internet with a delay on Dom and me trying to do it over Google Chat. So what's our plan? What are we talking about today, Dom?
Well, can I take this off now?
Yeah, go for it. They're uncomfortable.
Social distancing at its finest and PPE, guys. So this week we're on Volunteer Week. It's National Volunteer Week, so we're going to talk about volunteering not only in the centre, but has some ideas, some tips, some tricks, hopefully in discussions to try and encourage you guys about finishing off that volunteering section.
Yeah, so as you may be aware, volunteering is often the section that participants are a bit less keen to get cracking on, with the fact that with physical and skills it can be quite easy just to jump in, and with the things that you're already doing, such as football, or say if you play a musical instrument, you can just jump straight into and do it. But definitely for me, I found in my experience that volunteering was probably the hardest one to get started with.
Mm-hmm.
But one thing I found is once I got started, it was pretty easy to get it done. So one of the key things for looking at the moment is definitely getting started on what you can do for volunteering, especially during COVID-19, whilst you might not be doing anything else, so you're not missing out on whatever you do in your spare time normally.
I agree with you on that one. Also, it's a bit weird when all DV interviews youngsters, most of you guys are still young, I'm officially now on the old side. When DV interview the participants, the thing that they always turn around and say is the best bit and most memorable was the volunteering. Nearly most of them have always said that. It's the most rewarding because you're putting into not only the local community, you're getting something out of it, you're learning skills, and most of the times actually I've found either with the expedition and the volunteering, that's what companies I've had in my experience listen to the most because it's to do with them. It's what they like to see.
Yeah, so you make a good point there about companies being keen to see what you volunteered for, because it shows that you're willing to go that little bit further about what you're going to do, whereas rather than just doing your normal thing where you just go out and play football for a few weeks, then get your physical side off. So yeah, I would agree with that, where it's one of the things that companies on your CV, when they see DV, it's one of the things that they like to see the most.
Yeah.
And I can confirm that from talking to people like Thames Water and Network Rail. They all like the fact that you've got that extra bit of commitment, whereas people that have just gone out and just done the skill and the physical stuff just through what they normally do, that's one of the things that makes DV really stand out.
I like it. Yeah, hey, James is in. Morning, James. Morning. It's afternoon, evening, isn't it?
Yeah.
How are you doing? Did you have a good half time, guys? You know, let us know what you guys have got up to. What is half term? That's the other thing I've realised.
I honestly haven't felt any change. So half term for me has just been continuing what I was doing beforehand.
Yeah, I'm stuck inside, so I don't even know what half term and bank holiday is. It's like
the
only thing I do with bank holidays, I could get a bit of sun. That was nice. Some sun.
The only difference is I didn't have my dad working, so he was actually bothering me. So that's always a good one. As well as the sad lacking of Nando's and going out.
Hey, Nando's was open in Reading now. You know, Reading Gate. If anyone's that way, Nando's it is. I don't know any other Nando's.
Only for delivery or collection.
Hey, I'll go collect up Nando's anytime, mate. It's fine.
Yeah. So that's been happening. So on returning to volunteering, so with volunteering, what sort of ideas would you suggest that might spring to mind for you for during the lockdown, or whatever we're calling it now? What would you
this time of uncertainty?
So what sort of thing would you suggest people have?
I think one of the main things is helping, local you've got neighbours, and I nearly guarantee you one of them is having to shield in some aspect. So helping either doing their shopping. I know some people have done that. I know some people have taken up chores around the buildings. So some people have been cleaning pavements. Some people have been doing tidying up and assisting that way. I even know some people are teaching their siblings, sort of like guitar or piano, which is brilliant. And that's what it's all about, is inputting and investing that time. And that's the main thing, is investing that time and using it wisely.
Yeah, as you make a good point there about how people are now helping siblings by maybe teaching them a guitar or a skill that you've got yourself. So you've got things like that which you can do very easily, which some of you might not have siblings, which could be a good thing for you at the moment if you're anything like me and would be tearing the hair out every 5 minutes. But yeah, so you can go on and do that sort of thing. So if you've got a younger sibling, you can teach them some maths or English or whatever your personal forte is in educational sense, but also that sort of idea of the teaching of skills that you might have for that sort of thing. You also make a comment about helping people in your local community, so that is a really good opportunity now, as one of the things that I felt when I was trying to volunteer is I was making myself available, but there wasn't actually that many people that felt like they needed help or could think of anything that I would be able to help them with. So I ended up helping for my bronze and silver in ways that were they almost felt like I wasn't giving as much as I could have to places that I volunteered for. So the likes of, for what I did, I volunteered in the local library for bronze, and for that it just didn't really feel too much like I was doing something that I wanted to do, and it didn't really give me that sense of accomplishing much, as I was just sort of doing it to complete the volunteering, to see what happened, and then quite glad that during Gold I've managed to find this, as much as we might complain sometimes. It is a very good thing to volunteer for, because it's something that I've gained personal skill in, and then moved on and continued to help afterwards, because as bad as it might seem, I've become quite friendly with these two.
You've got on with us. You fitted in quite well, actually. I'll give you that, just about. James, I'm just quickly looking at the group chat, guys. Be part of the discussion. Is that the right side? I don't know. I can't see. Cameraman, am I pointing the right way?
No, you're not.
No, I'm not. It's that side. Over that side of the screen is the live chat. Come be a part of it, you know. As James is, it's brilliant. James, just quickly, what are you doing as you're volunteering? Because you've said that, what do you need to put for your evidence, your later evidence, I'm guessing, not LADA evidence.
Yeah.
So that, you know, we'll try and answer that today for you as well, man.
So on DOV, what should I put for my further or whatever evidence, as I changed my volunteering?
Yeah, because this time round, whereas previously you could only change once, because we are in a, and by the way guys, we do have Jake. Jake's our resident cameraman inside the centre. He's the MC on the, so everyone make sure you say hello to Jake as well. But he might butt in at some point if he thinks there's anything that we can comment about. However, where it comes down to, we do know that because of the rule changes, you can now change your subjects more to help you, because you might dry up, let's say, assisting teaching your 13-year-old sister how to play guitar. Mm-hmm. So we do understand that.
He said, James has just put a response on saying that he was a Beavers leader till COVID.
Okay, so
he can have his assessor sign that off now because he's done his 3 months.
I was going to say, I would get your assessor. Perfect, thank you. See, that's why we've brought Jake over there, who's over like 3 meters that way hiding. Jake's just brought up, especially with Beavers, if you get them to sign off, if you're in contact with your Beaver leader. That was like a tongue and a half to say.
Yeah, so just to clarify what Jake said, is he said that you should be able to get them to sign it off because you've done 3 months?
Yeah.
Yeah, so he's saying that you've done 3 months on EDV.
Yeah.
Therefore, if you've got an assessor's report, that alone should be good enough to finish your section.
Yeah. Also, if you've changed your subjects, so to another thing, let's say you went from Beavers and then you went to helping Joe Blogs down the road with their shopping, you don't need to as such get Joe Blogs, but someone who's not directly family, it could even be one of us as a leader, we can write assessors reports for that. But as long as there's something to show evidence, if you like, if that be a blog, a write-up or some photographs. Hope that's helped you, James. If that any other questions, feel free to put them in. That's what we're here for. Doesn't necessarily have to be about volunteering, it's just what we're focusing on today. But we're always here to help.
Yeah, with the evidence side of things, it is great to get some pictures on there, just because it does make your EDV a bit more interesting for us, even as leaders, if we get to see what sort of thing you guys have achieved during your time during completing the sections of DV. So we get to see you a lot during the expedition planning and that sort of thing. But of course, we don't get to see you at all doing any volunteering, skill, physical, that sort of stuff. So for us, it's quite good to see on a purely selfish thing. It's quite nice to see participants going out and helping their community and that sort of thing.
I agree. It's one of those things, especially where the DOV is a massive award. It's got loads of different sections to it. And it's all purposely there for you to help and work in several what was known as soft skills, if you like. I like to call them just life skills because it does work in a lot of that. So that's one of those things, especially where you go out and you're doing the volunteering or you're learning a skill, you're pushing your boundaries. That's what it's about. I don't know about you with especially volunteering, because that's one of the things me and you do have in common is we joined as gold participants, as assistants. It does push you. You are in, especially when you're, well, I was 18, you 17 turning 18, and you do have to think on your feet a lot. Don't know about you, Jake. Were you felt a little bit pushed from time to time out your comfort zone? Yeah, Jake's nodding away very happily. He's just enjoying the fact that he's not on camera. We'll have to slowly pry him this way over the next few weeks.
Yeah. So one of the things that I've found about volunteering is, as you said, the being able to do something that's completely different to anything that you might have done before. But it does help you find strengths and weaknesses that you can, for a lot of you might be using the DOV to put on CVs and that sort of thing, but once it's on your CV, you may be asked about it in interviews and that sort of thing, and it's a great thing for you to be able to say, well, I've volunteered for this person and this helped them by this, and I developed this skill. It helps you just say, and it shows how you've developed as a person to be a good employee for the employer that you've selected to go for a job for, and it is for that reason it's something that employers will look for quite a lot on CVs. For me, going for apprenticeships and that sort of thing at the moment, I have found that it's one of the things that gets asked about in interviews when you go on an interview and they say, well, how have you developed, let's say, your communication skills, and you can go, well, I volunteered for my example, the Dolphin Centre here, and say, well, during this I've had to communicate with participants and then the leaders and parents of participants, so you get to be able to talk about all of that and how it's developed you as a person, whereas when you're just at school, you're not, you can say that you've been at school, but everyone that's going for that job has been in some form of education, so having that is really useful.
Just butting in, what if you could choose one thing that you've taken away from volunteering, or a skill you've learned that's affected you, helped you the most, what would that be? Siri's about to talk.
So I don't know. It's a difficult one because, as I said, it is something where you do get just different skills where you develop yourself as a complete package. So when you volunteer for someone, it really depends on what your volunteering is. So with coming here, there's a variety. As I said, it's like you develop the skill that you're weakest at almost.
Yeah.
So for me, I was pretty much always quite confident at talking to people and just.
Really, I've never guessed that.
And just blagging my way through conversations if I'm unsure of things, or telling people I don't know and just moving them on to people that might. But it's things like that communication between the lines, like for me, going between talking with participants and then if I don't know, being able to communicate with you guys and say, well, I don't know about this. Could you go with them? It's that sort of knowing where your weakness is.
Kind of understanding where you're weak and being able to ask for help.
Yeah, and being able to translate that low level of knowledge to a high level of knowledge, and being that intermediary of person in between and being able to explain it.
That makes sense. One thing I've noticed with the volunteering, if you like, is the fact that if it seems small what you do, that 1 hour a week for 3 months if you're bronze, or
Mm.
6 months. Can you do 6 months for volunteering? One of them you can't. I can't remember the top of my head. But you do that for that period of time, or silver it goes up to 6
Mhm.
and 9,
Yeah.
and then there's 12 and 18
Yeah, 12 and 18
Yeah.
for non-direct.
for non-direct, for golds. And the bit I've realised is it's 1 hour. You guys do 1 hour a week individually in average. Then your mate does 1 hour a week, and your mate does 1 hour a week, and it adds up.
Yeah, well,
What-
how many participants have we had? You think over the last years where you've been here,
Oh,
to
gosh.
not push you to feel old, but throughout the years that you've been here, you've got, I know in my year there was, 4 or 5 groups, which is 4 people at least, so you've
Yeah,
got
you
20 people
were
there.
about 20 to 30 people.
That's a day's worth of hours every week
Yeah, being
that
invested.
people are giving to their community. So in a way of D of E, just having that volunteering just from this centre alone, we've got lots of hours of volunteering where we've contributed to
Yeah,
local places, be it Pangbourne, Reading,
and it
Goring, all of them.
Goring,
Yeah.
Wallingford, if you're from Wallingford, guys.
So that sort of thing, it might not be a big thing for you if you find volunteering easy, or if you found somewhere to volunteer for very, very quickly.
Mhm.
But for those people that might not afford to volunteering before, it is a really good thing to
I agree.
for just in a whole D of E sense. It's very good,
Yeah.
which is being recognised, being national.
National Volunteering Week. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's quite weird. I've sat down and was number crunching some figures. So, for most people that volunteer, especially on the DV team, and this is something that is really special about this team, is a lot of us DV volunteers that have been volunteering over the year volunteer for several centres. It's not just a centre.
Yeah.
So, on average, it comes down to, so let's say me or Jake last year, it came in that we did about 16 whole days each.
Mm.
So between each other, we've done a whole month. And there goes the lights!
The joys of being in the centre.
So there had to be, I was expecting that to go off a bit sooner actually. But that's between each other, that's 16 days times 2, that's a whole month. So
Yeah.
between me and Jake alone, that's a month.
Mm.
Between that, I know Jake volunteers for the Cubs in his local area. I've volunteered in the past with Scouts. I still volunteer with Scouts.
Yeah.
We sit on different board meetings and stuff like that to help to run things. It's about, we're averaging around 300, 400 hours, and it's because it's the investment into people and allowing the opportunity to do things, and that's what's the reward, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
I don't know about you, but I don't volunteer because I get something out of it, because I wouldn't be volunteering for a long time.
Yeah. That is the thing. So with volunteering, it is in some ways it is a selfish thing. Even though you're giving to people, you are getting something back from it. So whereas you give your time away, you are gaining the skills that I've said that the
Yeah.
employers are looking for. You also get satisfaction when you've helped someone, if you do help someone, or in our case where we're running a D&V centre and helping do that sort of thing, we get satisfaction when we see you guys progress, learn about different things, realise skills in yourself, which to some people might sound cringy, but like it's a well-known fact. It's why people become teachers despite their lack of pay.
Whoa. I'm going to go into that debate. Oh no.
Both parents trained as teachers, so but yeah, so volunteering has lots of benefits, and
It does, and it's rewarding for yourself.
Yeah.
But it's, if you look around you and you look at quite a few people that have made it. I don't know. Do you know the presenter Laura Woods on Sky Sports, does TalkSport Radio? One of the Sky Sports presenters. Do you know how she got the job? Volunteering.
okay.
She went in for work experience,
Yeah.
which is volunteering, and that's how she got her foot into the door.
Okay.
A lot of people, you take even the likes of Bill Gates,
Mm-hmm.
the amount of charity work and volunteering he puts in to put it back into the community. So
Yeah.
people on that calibre volunteer, it's a massive thing, and it's a decent skill if you can carry that all the way through. I know people that have volunteered, be that, you know, local call centres for mental health
Yeah.
awareness. So it's been loads of different avenues, and that's the thing. And it's to all of them that if it wasn't for that voluntaries
Yeah.
and the volunteering spirit we have, none of it could work.
Yeah.
Because it would just fall apart. That seriously. One of the things that we have to be grateful here is within the centre we've been quite blessed with having a half decent amount pool of volunteers. Not every volunteer that's come through our doors at Adventure Dolphin, shall we say the least. Yeah, I'm trying to think of the word we can use. But let's say, I wouldn't say they're here to volunteer. They don't last long. I say this as Jake was playing on his phone, just looking into the sunset, daydreaming. It's amazing. But
Thinking
it's for
of
the
the pub.
volunteers that without fail are there. It doesn't matter. They're always there. They're always
Yeah.
volunteer. It's not just our department. Apart from our department, I would say kicks ass at it.
You would say that,
I would say that, but it's honest, and you can ask several people that have been here, and then they might say, oh, it's a bunch of, especially with you guys, you're youngsters, XYZ, all that. But when you hand in your hours forms at the end of the year, and they look at that number, they're going, oh heck,
Yeah.
it all adds up. But you guys have done amazing with it. I know we have a fantastic treasurer who works in the background, and the amount of hours he puts in is ridiculous. And it doesn't stop at the sessions. We're not just here for,
Yeah.
it's 3 hours every Monday, and then it's like I'm doing an hour or so during the week. I know Jake does about an hour or so of planning and XYZ in the week. Then you've got the expedition stuff,
Yeah.
the training we've got to do, and that's one of the things. And it's the same with the kayaking. There's some kayaking coaches out there.
Yeah.
Not all of them. Some of them, but a lot of them they're doing XYZ training, and they're trying to promote the club. One thing I'll say about, we'll go on to club. I'll finish off with clubs later about hopefully the rough plan. Stay in but go out, but don't go out, but go out. No.
Yeah.
The plan of that. But one thing I did notice today, and congratulations to the 7 of the new bronzes, so this year's bronzes, that have actually put in and gone above the draft mode on all 3 of their sections. That's something that we need to commend. It's, well done you guys. For the others, just get it done. It's not, we're still stuck indoors to an extent, although we are now allowed out. We can meet up to 6 people today. Yeah, 6
people socially distanced.
So remember, if you're going out, to bring a 2-meter ruler.
The other thing you say with people going above and beyond with EDV, you don't necessarily have to put pictures on, which I can say from experience. But with my comment earlier about where you might be asked about in a job interview or apprenticeship interview or going for anything, whatever thing might have an interview, if you do have EDV up to date, it will save all of those pictures to your EDV account. So if you want to find pictures of you volunteering to show in an interview or that sort of thing, it makes it a very useful resource to find things like that, to go, this is me volunteering for XYZ.
Did they, when you were doing, did they do the thing where at the end of it you could download the PDF, or you could get they were at one stage doing a book you could order of your DV experience?
I was told about that, but I think they stopped it before I finished my goals.
Okay.
So
I didn't know if they did stop.
yeah, I was told about the fact that you want to keep it up to date, otherwise you just get a load of stock images.
And it looks a bit weird. But it's good to keep it up to date, because it's evidence, and especially when you go up to gold, that's the stuff that the guys in HQ will look at. They look at your assessor's report, and then they'll look at what you've put down as evidence. And if you can give them a compelling reason why it shouldn't be pulled back to you to be edited, that's perfect. So that's the thing, is give it so it's clearly for the verifiers to go, yeah, Joe Blogs has done it. That's what that's about. Yeah, I think that's pretty much it as far as it's concerned today. With plans, it's one of those things, we don't know entirely what's going on. What we can say is, as you can clearly see, we're in the centre.
Yeah.
It's only taken, 10, 11 weeks since we were last here?
This would be the 11th, I think.
Yeah, when Mr. Johnson announced lockdown, no joke of a lie, me and Jake were stood here watching it on the TV and then packed our bags and went. And it's the first time we've been back. We're now back in the centre. For the time being, it is going to be for the leaders only. We are working hard to try and see how we can get you guys back, but of course, safety for you lot is our main priority. So we're working in checking measures, putting measures in place, seeing how we can run as distancing and cleaning protocols for you guys. We want you guys back. It sucks not having all of them in and helping them achieve their awards, which you guys deserve to get. Has there been anything else on the chat, or we've been relatively quiet? No, we've been quiet for today. That's absolutely fine.
James hasn't been shouting at us.
James hasn't shouted at us. That obviously means we've kept our mic on James this week, or you disappeared after the question. Or you might be there, I don't know.
He's not quite the keyboard warrior that we need him to be just
today.
hurling abuse our way.
It's the first week back, but these are now going on all the way through to, I'd probably say, until we can get you guys back now.
I imagine so.
The good thing about being in the centre, it now means where it was just me and Tom, we are going to get different leaders. Jake is now running out of the building because he knows it's coming one day, and you're going to have Jake in the seat, you're going to have Kevin will come in and do a bit. Giles might even do a bit. Basically, we'll go around, we'll have different leaders all talking about different things. If there's anything you would like to be covered over the next few weeks, just drop us an email at davcoordinator@adventuredolphin.co.uk. Is there any other way they can get in contact to
if you drop a chat straight in the chat, we can see you through there.
And then magically, if this works, we're going to see if this works in time. If my guru over there presses the button right in time about social media, that should be appearing at any stage below me.
So
down here, there.
It's like down here.
Yeah, it'd be down that bit. Give us a follow on social media.
So on Instagram.
Instagram, Facebook and Twitter.
Yeah.
If you tag in it, as you're doing, hashtag it, DAV, that will help the guys that are monitoring those channels so they can get sent back to us. Adventure Dolphin.
Yeah, so we get to see what you guys are up to. That's our bit of selfishness. Get to see what you're up to. Get to see what you guys are managing to do during COVID.
We are quite busy. We haven't forgotten about any of you guys. We want you all back. We're working very hard on it. If anything, we work before this stream goes on, and we're back to work straight after the stream. So this is, if anything, this is like a little bit of a break for us. This is quite nice.
Just having a chat.
So I think from me, all I'm going to say is keep safe. Take it easy, have fun, whatever you do.
Yeah. Try and meet up with some friends with the new lifting of guidelines. Do make sure you make use of that and get out. Yeah.
Your mental health is important. Have you got any outdoorsy bites? I haven't got any outdoorsy bites. So
that could have been my outdoorsy bite. That one.
That could have been your outdoorsy. You take it. The outdoorsy bite. That was a good one. You go again. Your outdoorsy bite.
My outdoorsy bite is with the new lifting guidelines. You can now meet up 6 friends. So go for it. Just don't get too close. Don't be like some of the plonkers out on the field here. Just try and keep your distance. So just try and meet up with some people. Help your mental health out. So
yeah, my outdoorsy bite was going to be that one. So that was great. Thanks, mate.
Can't steal mine after I've said it.
I had it beforehand, and then you took it straight away. I really should be selfish and not just offer it up. But outdoorsy bites, my one will probably be try something different. Adapt if you can. If you learn something new. You know, I'm not an avid cyclist. I've got a bit to go and get a bike first, but you know, try something new. Get out and about because it does help your mental health as well, and that's very important, especially in these times.
Yeah.
So I think that's it as of today. Take care. We'll see you next week at 7 o'clock, isn't it?
Yeah.
7 o'clock, right here, right now.
Yeah, and thanks again for James for your comments in the chat. It's
we always
helpful as
appreciate it.
always. And we'll try and get something interesting for next week.
Cool. Stay safe, guys.
Bye bye.